He defrauded donors. He lied about his life story as if he were writing a book of fiction. Now, George Santos, the disgraced congressman from Long Island, is going to prison.
Santos booted from Congress after less than a year in office, sentenced this afternoon to more than 7 years in prison. He'll also be subject to 2 years of supervision after his release. And as part of his punishment, he also has to pay more than $500,000 in penalties.
Does the man who ripped off so many people have anything even close to the amount of money he has to pay? We don't know. Santos was speechless after sentencing. Long Island reporter Chanteé Lans live at the federal courthouse in central Iceland. Chanteé.
Well, Bill and Chanteé, George Santos wept before a judge as he apologized just moments before she threw the book at him, handing down that 7-year sentence. Swarmed by cameras, expelled Long Island Congressman George Santos makes his way inside federal court in central Iceland. It's the 36-year-old's final appearance before facing his fate at his sentencing.
My whole job is to ensure that the public is served the way that they deserve, and they do not deserve to be bilked by this kind of fraudster.
New York State Department of Labor Commissioner Roberta Reardon was the only one to deliver a victim's impact statement to the court, detailing how Santos illegally collected weekly unemployment payments while having a $120,000 salary job. The disgraced former Republican U.S. representative pleaded guilty to charges of wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. Tied to lies he admitted to telling to voters, Congress, and donors during his campaigns.
Santos's victims were real people, and they suffered real losses.
The judge ultimately siding with federal prosecutors, throwing the book, giving him the maximum 87 months, which is a 7-year and 3-month sentence.
George, anything to say?
Nothing from George Santos or his attorneys, but his friends, including at least one who worked in his office, and his sister, attended to show their support.
It's ridiculous. He's somebody who did what everyone else did, and because he's not super rich, he's going to jail. That's what's happening.
Similar sentiments shared by these two Long Islanders.
He didn't deserve more than two years in jail.
How do you know?
They say they came to support Santos to return a favor.
I was pardoned by President Trump for January 6th during 2020.
Donald Trump will commute his sentence.
He was in Washington, D.C. while I was on trial for 4 years. You know, and I went to prison, and he was there for me.
You killed my dog, Anthony!
Anthony DeVolder!
Outrage from disabled Navy veteran Richard Ossoff from New Jersey. He says George Santos stole $3,000 raised for a medical procedure to save his dog's life. He sat in court as George Santos wept and apologized before a federal judge.
It's crocodile tears. That wasn't real. He's not remorseful. He's crying because he knows that he's getting bitten. He's got to go away now.
Santos's former constituents also attended. They formed Concerned Citizens of New York 03 and took their opposition to Capitol Hill to demand his expulsion. The group's co-founder, Jody Kasfinkel, says she's relieved.
He belongs in prison, you know, what he did to us, but do we want to see any leniency for him? No, absolutely not.
And George Santos is out on bond. He has to turn himself in on July 25th. He also asked the judge if he could possibly stay in the Northeast. That prison has not yet been chosen. Live in central Islip, outside of federal court, Chanteé Lans, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.